many businesses are you currently running?
Currently, I got 12. Imagine 21 years old, and then you're short of 50,000 Aussie dollar, which you don't know where to get.
Yeah.
You know, you went to knock on everybody's door. So my dad and his partner, so they started this airline called AirAsia in Malaysia. The minute we launched, sold out the first week. That's what we thought. Being his son, I've experienced private jet. I've experienced owning an F1 team. You don't want to go through life thinking maybe one day when you're older, like, fuck, what if I started that could be big, something.
Man, what if is going to be the worst?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you say anything that you feel like doing, just do it.
What the hell am I doing here? I don't belong here. Don't care.
And we're rolling. Fuck yeah, bro. All right.
Yes.
Wak, my main
Wak.
man, Wak. Let me open my notes
Booklet.
on Wak. Just taking some time out of my day
Yeah.
to really like kind of do my research. And no, I like to make sure I'm giving you the best interview possible, you know, and I want to ask you the right questions and not some generic bullshit, you know.
Yep.
But your name is Ishraq Kamarudin, yes?
Yep.
Is that how you say it?
Yes.
Nice, man. Bro, like, what's the story? Who are you? Like, the story of your life, where does it even begin?
So maybe as a start, you know, like, I want to say thank you for you taking this interest in me.
No, 100%.
Especially because, you know, we just got to know each other, right, from this trip, coming to Tonga, a very beautiful place, far away from home for me.
Yeah.
Right, took me like at least 2 to 3 days just to travel here.
Shit, really? Oh, yeah, okay.
So, I mean, like, there's a lot of people, but you took interest to do this podcast with me. So that, I don't know if your viewers know, but I have my own podcast.
Yeah, are you showing me? I should be introducing you. Yeah, so like, this is Mark, and he's you can tell this is episode 4.
Yeah.
I would call you a bit of a up and coming Malaysian mogul.
Probably.
How many businesses are you currently running?
Currently, I got 12.
12.
But I did one vlog. I say essentially it's 12 companies, but technically it's 12 businesses because I manage it in a way where it's centralized.
Yeah, sure.
In such a way.
Sure,
yeah.
cool. So, to the people in that business that might be a normal employee, so to speak, do they know about the other 11? Are they communicating with them at all?
Yeah. So
Okay.
each person has like their own, but it's interrelated. Each business is interrelated. I don't do a business that is way.
So you have your fashion company, but you have your media company, and the media
Correct.
company is a client
Correct.
of the fashion company.
Yeah,
Right,
you get
okay.
it.
Yeah.
Before I even explain to you, you understand it already.
Sure,
Yeah.
okay, that
It's
makes a lot of
exactly
sense.
something like that.
Yeah. Well, I was breaking down what I'm interested in because I'm young and dumb and figuring myself out, and I could kind of boil it down to 3, which was kind of natural beauty. I mean, look at where we are, and we've been spending the week diving with humpback whales, so it doesn't really get more peak than that.
Yep.
Human stories, what we're kind of trying to do right now. But entrepreneurship is definitely in there. It's been in my kind of soul for as long as I can remember, and you, I think, are a shining example of that. So, although I'm interested in, as you say, everyone here, like, to a certain degree, to actually sit down and really get into it. The journey you're currently on is, for me and a lot of people I know and I'm into, is fascinating. You know. So yeah, if that's the current context that we're playing in, where do you think of your story, your journey beginning?
Beginning.
Yeah.
I mean, it starts
Like on your
from
Wikipedia page, early life or something. Like what's that?
early life. Normally, it's like more education and stuff like that, right? Yeah. But I think in terms of life journey, right? I've always wanted to do everything when I was younger. Yeah. You know, I don't know if in Australia, but in Malaysia, right? When in high school, they always ask, okay, write what you want to be, who you want to be when you're older.
Yeah.
So I always write random stuff like skateboarder. I want to be a professional skateboarder. I want to be all this random stuff. But essentially, after a while, I say, I want to do everything in this world.
Okay. Yeah. Sure.
Yeah, I want to experience everything and I want to do everything, but it's not possible because time is a limitation, right? So after a while, my family background, everybody is like my family, my parents, they are in entrepreneurship from before. They started their own business and all that. You get that a lot in Malaysia, not so much, but there's a lot of like entrepreneurs. But I read this one book also. They call entrepreneur is not. They said that entrepreneur is overly used.
Okay.
Should call starter. Anybody can be a starter. Basically, as long as you start something and you execute and you take action, you're considered as an entrepreneur. But they said entrepreneur. But this is a book. It's called Rework. So it changed
Okay.
the thinking
Yeah.
of everything. So basically, your
Makes it a bit
question,
less intimidating.
yeah, less intimidating because like for Malaysia, there are like old grannies selling like food,
Yeah,
food
durian
stall.
or
They are
something.
entrepreneurs,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
They're still entrepreneurs,
I love it.
right?
Oh my
So
goodness.
they are starters. So they took action and start selling, right?
And I mean, Malaysia seems to be somewhere maybe in the middle, but I was just in Africa, for instance. So it's really like economically pretty low, and
Yeah.
I think it was only 9% of the population were employed. But that means
9%?
Yeah, but that means they have a job that actually has payroll and taxes and
Understand?
stuff. Everyone else obviously makes
like
money, but
allowance
it's,
based.
as you know, it's like on the
Daily.
street
Oh,
selling
shit.
tomatoes or whatever it is. So
Understand?
90% of the population just to survive has to be a starter, an entrepreneur, as you
an
say.
entrepreneur as well, right?
Yeah.
So it's more of that. So in terms of entrepreneurship, what do people think of entrepreneurship? People may think, oh, to be super rich or to be like Elon Musk, Jeff Bezos, or all this top entrepreneur, or what, right? Actually, or is it to buy back your life and have the freedom of not 9 to 5? But actually, the headache is more.
Yeah, sure.
Let me open this. Technically, you work like almost 24 hours once you become an entrepreneur, right? Yeah. You can ask Carrie as well. There's one lovely lady here in our trip as well.
Sure.
Yeah, she's an entrepreneur too, and she's like, it
She's
never
definitely
stops.
sharing her business problems with us all, isn't she? Yeah.
yeah. She oh, I need to do because we are all with cameras and everything. She's like, I need to do this too.
Yeah.
Right, and all that because I hired my media company and then I got fired.
She's going
so
for
basically
it, eh?
like that. But what are you most interested about in terms of entrepreneurship, Tim?
I guess
Like, what is it?
When I think of my own entrepreneurial journey, if I can call it that, which I guess I can, I always go back, and everyone who knows me well will know the story of me in year 6 selling lollies at school. And that kind of thing, like out of the locker selling sweets and candies and stuff. So, like for you, is there any equivalent to that? Like when did this journey that you're on when was it making itself evident in the world?
I mean, for this kind, I don't consider it as where the journey started. But I was also selling, like, you know how you take the paper and then you make origami?
Yeah.
Yeah, so I learned from this guy. So he teach me that you can do like a claw, you can make into a pistol gun. So I did that and then I sold it.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I don't know whether I make money or not. Right, like proper cost and margin wise and all that. We didn't count as long as I get money.
Yep.
And then at the same time, I asked. I used to have a helper at home. My helper to make brownies for me to bring to school to sell it. And then when I was selling it, the funny thing is I used it. Half is to actually like court woman, right? So you can bake. So girls think that I can bake. So because I overclaimed that I said I'm the one that baked it.
Okay.
But actually it was my helper at home, right? Baked it.
How old were you at this point?
Around 12, 13.
Okay, true. I didn't know
Around
12-year-old girls were looking at bakers.
Yeah. So I was trying to sell that. But funny thing is, like I was quite a naughty boy at school. So a lot of people didn't want to buy because they don't know what I put inside. I was like, are you sure? Are you sure? Like what I put inside
Brownies
could be,
do certainly have
could be
a
something
reputation.
weird. So, yeah. Because I've always been naughty, skipping class. And we've always had to stand up in the front of during, what do you call that? Assembly. In the morning, right? When you come for high school, there's an assembly. So we always have to because we skip class, do all this naughty stuff, right? So I was
Nice.
very naughty during high school, man.
Fair,
I didn't really study much.
Right. But you
that
got
time.
through high school, you got through university.
Yeah, everything, yeah.
Yeah,
But I got through. You know, we have like all this final examination, all A's, everything A's.
Yeah, there you go.
I still studied at home. I do believe highly of education. Even in uni, I was in Nottingham, UK. I got first class honors as well. I believe in education, but I don't like to follow the rules.
Yeah, okay. Hence the entrepreneurial, I'm not going to follow some corporate road, eh?
Yeah.
Well, sorry, go on.
But the real money, where I really first start making money in high school, like you said, selling lollies, was I sold. But this was me following my brother as well. We collaborated. So he was from outside. He wasn't in school. So we supplied T-shirts for the cheer competition.
Okay.
So each
What's that?
school is quite big, like a cheer competition.
Oh, cheerleading.
Yeah, cheerleading competition.
Hey.
For in my area, it was quite big. So every school will send their cheerleading team, and then we will go to support the team, support our school's team.
Sure.
So it's easy money because everybody will want to buy the official merchandise, and
So
nobody
so the merchandise didn't exist.
didn't
You
exist.
just made up.
You just made
merchandise.
up official merchandise.
True. Oh my god, that's genius.
Yeah,
eh?
and then you don't need capital because you just go to each class, who wants what size, and then you show the design. The only thing you need is you need to be friends with the cheer captain. That's all.
Sure.
So I was friends with the cheerleading captain, and then so I just she allowed me to do the merchandise.
Yeah.
So we just did for 2 years, I think, when I was.
And the school didn't get angry.
No,
about
no,
that?
nothing. So
No.
we just took people's deposit to that is the cost
Yeah.
for the product merchandise, and then once we deliver it, then they paid the remainder, right? So that's our
Wow.
profit.
That's so smart.
So I made probably like 1,000 Aussie dollar
Yeah.
if I divide by 3. I think the exchange rate Malaysia ringgit. And
Yep, sure.
yeah. I'm from Malaysia, by the way, guys.
Yeah. You mentioned that, so well,
Yeah.
that actually, like, that story.
That's the true where I really first
Yeah.
hold money. Yeah.
That story really shows, at least how you've explained it to me, how you kind of operate, because you're not one of these people who has some great idea and then like is so kind of nerdy that they have to write the app themselves or do whatever. You're very personal, communicative. Like, you called yourself what was it, like
Enabler.
enabler,
Yeah.
right? And even then, like working with your brother, working with the cheer captain,
Yeah.
that's the trend of your life, right?
It's a lot of working with people.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I only realized this skill that I have because I tried to start my own business a couple of times, which was right after high school. I tried cookie business. This one as well, I collaborated. Then they asked me to put in 30,000 ringgit, which is about 10,000 Aussie dollar. That time I was like 18 or 17, I think. I was doing the accounts for the company, and then I said, I like your business, I want to invest. But then I didn't have money, right? So I went to my dad, I asked, can I borrow 30,000? He said, what the fuck, finish your studies first. Don't think about business.
Yeah.
Finish your studies first.
Okay.
So don't do business because...
He doesn't want you to do a startup and quit uni.
Yeah. So because he said his methodology or what do you call it? Principle was why risk something that is sure, which is your degree, is something paid for. He paid for it. It's a sure thing. You risk that because you want to chase something that is not very sure, which is your cookie business, right? So then I said, you're
And
right.
they're both in similar lines as
Yeah,
well. It's not
yeah.
like you're revolutionizing,
No,
you know.
it's just starter
Yeah.
selling cookies.
Yeah.
But we used to sell cookies. So we will hire all my friends from high school to sell. They're pretty girls, right?
So you'd sell cookies all day. This is
Yeah.
during uni in the UK.
No, this is during college. And then, but I was partnering with people like 5 years older than me. Yeah. But in the end, it didn't materialize because I couldn't put the money. They asked, where's your money, man?
Yeah.
I said, I can't put, man, I don't have money. And I said, fuck you, man, you're a little kid. That's it. That's it.
So was this in KL?
Yeah, in KL.
Yeah.
I was like 17, 18. But I was like so hungry to do business, even from young. I wanted to do something, you know.
Where do you think that came from, that hunger?
From my family, my father, he's a businessman.
Yeah.
So ever since after high school, 17, I always, when we don't have any classes or anything, he he would take us, me, my brother, my elder brother, to go follow him for meetings and stuff
Oh
like
wow.
that. Yeah.
Yeah.
So we've always been interested in business.
And that's the way, because I asked you this the other day. I asked, like, you know, why the business, why the money. There's ways to live the good life.
Yeah.
Like being a tour whale guide, you know,
Correct,
like
correct.
as in there's other ways to do it. So is that just because you've just been so imprinted by your dad to show that path? Like that's the way you know, that's the way you can follow?
To be honest, my dad, he's an entrepreneur. So if you notice some entrepreneurs, they are quite open. Majority of entrepreneurs that I met, they are all open, like open to anything. Anything is possible. Nothing is impossible. So for my dad, he doesn't limit us. Like, oh, you have to be an entrepreneur. You have to. He actually let us decide who we want. But of course, because I have 9 siblings, and then I'm like the third.
So there's 10 of you.
Yeah, no, I'm
9 of you
9
in total.
total.
Okay, wow.
So I'm the third. So being one of the eldest, like you see your dad's up and coming, right? So, and I've always he is like my number one hero, right? If I may. So even for my brother as well. Before this, I didn't know Elon Musk. Before, when you were young, you didn't study all these other entrepreneurs. You only know your dad, right?
Sure.
Your dad is your number one hero. So he's always my number one hero. But once upon a time, I wanted to be a sound engineer because into all this DJ and stuff like that back in college. But I said to him, I want to become a sound engineer. And I said, are you sure? So he doesn't say no, but he asks me again to try rethink if it's really something that you want to do. And then one day I went to him and said, Dad, I really want to be a sound engineer. Okay, you sure you want to be a sound engineer? Tomorrow we go and sign up. Suddenly my whole future flashback in that 10 seconds. And then I replied, okay, no, I don't want to be a
Really? Wow, okay,
Yeah.
there you go.
So
They called you bluff,
yeah.
but you probably didn't know it was a bluff.
I didn't
right?
know it was a bluff. So then I took finance, accounting management, if we go back a bit. But yeah, so that was, I always wanted to finish uni as quick as I can because my dad always blocked me from doing business. And I've always been a naughty child, but at the same time, an obedient child, if I may. In front of them, I'm obedient. Behind them, I'm very naughty.
Yeah,
You know what I mean?
yeah.
So I want to do something that I want to finish uni quickly so that I can do business because he said you can't do business while you're in uni. So that's the story. Yeah, why I graduated when I was 21.
Okay.
It was 2015.
Yeah, so straight through it. Yeah.
Yeah.
And then out of uni, did you then start working?
Yeah, I started my own
AirAsia?
business first.
Okay,
No,
no.
I started. Oh, so you did research already.
Yeah.
So I started my business first, so out of uni. But during uni, I skipped classes. I went to all these entrepreneurship events. I went to so many, because I was in the UK, I went to Virgin startup conferences. I went to Virgin workshops, all these small workshops. I skipped class, but I went to all the
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, and I started an organization, a startup organization. And then fast forward after uni,
Yeah.
before I started AirAsia,
Yeah.
I started a lipstick business.
Okay.
Yeah, but that time before I started the lipstick business, I was doing it's called Young ASEAN Minds. I tried to collect all the ASEAN people in
Asian.
UK.
Yeah.
ASEAN is Southeast Asia.
Okay,
So there's
right.
10 countries.
Yeah.
Yeah. Total 600 million population.
Wow, okay.
So I was like thinking, whoa, maybe we can network this time because I can't do business. So might as well I just connect first.
Sure.
So I got to know all the head of ASEAN Student Association in UK. Then I called all of them to come to London, and then we did talks and stuff like that.
Wow.
And I
you
wanted
organised?
to, I organized.
Yeah.
Because I wanted to train my leadership skill without starting a business.
Sure.
You know, that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
So how do you arrange? How do you cold email, cold call
Yeah.
people, cold invite speakers and stuff like that. All that was during that time. Then one of my friend invited me to do celebrity products.
Okay.
So he's the guy that is partner with me in my podcast.
Okay.
Ishraq.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we did our first business together.
And this is the lipstick.
And this is the lipstick business.
Right. And what do you mean by celebrity products?
So the idea, of course, the first product was a lipstick, but the idea was because his family is revolved around celebrities. He was very much involved in the entertainment industry.
Okay.
So he got this idea of partnering with celebrities to create a product for them, and then
Right.
we sell it.
Okay.
We
so
manage the business.
What do the
side.
celebrities want? If they actually use it,
Yeah.
then everyone else will buy it.
Like that time was the time where Kylie Jenner just started her brand. What is it called?
Okay. Oh, I don't even know.
I forgot what it's
She made
called.
$1 billion like that.
Yeah,
Right?
yeah. So that was the time where celebrity products was like up and coming.
Okay.
So that's where my.
And the marketing power of like the influencer. I
Correct.
think. Yeah.
But it's not as simple as that. Our plan was like probably like almost legit. I was targeting only 1% of that celebrity. That celebrity had 1 million followers on Instagram. So I was targeting only 1,000.
Okay.
Or was it 10,000 of her? Because I ordered 10,000 lipstick. Yeah, correct. So I ordered 10,000 lipsticks, specifically just targeting 10,000 of her,
Of
her,
who's
followers.
the her?
Her name is Izara Aisha.
Okay.
Yeah,
It was some Malaysian.
Malaysian.
star or something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
She's a actress
Okay. Yeah.
in Malaysia. Quite famous, 1 million followers, that kind.
And so you were getting in touch with her and doing
yeah,
this?
she was my partner's brother's girlfriend, now wife. But back then it was a
Perfect.
girlfriend.
There
yeah.
you go. That's a
So
good
that's how-
little. That's a good little in.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Shit, my camera.
Better get that one.
Okay, I'll put it here. Yeah.
Nice.
So, but that was funny as well, because
And this is the first real business you
this is
started.
first
Yeah.
real business where we went to, in Malaysia it's called SSM, where you had to registrar of companies. I don't know in Australia
Yep,
how,
yeah,
how,
yeah.
it,
Yeah,
how it
something like
works. Maybe I have to set up one company in Australia, figure out.
Okay.
Yeah, maybe I'll ask you.
Yeah, there you
When
go.
that
I
time
know
comes.
everything about business in Australia.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
definitely don't.
But I'm sure you know somebody who knows somebody who
Yeah,
knows
for
somebody.
sure. Yeah, for sure. Yeah. Okay, so how did it go down? How did this first business go down? So what, we're
So-
talking a year or two journey here, like.
Yeah. It's around from 2016 to 2018.
Yeah.
To end of
Couple years.
2017-ish, like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, about 2 years. Yeah, it was tough, man. So I didn't give you guys a bit of background. So before, when he invited me, he asked me, please come join, because so my dad and his partner, so they started this airline called AirAsia in Malaysia.
Your dad
Yeah.
started AirAsia.
Yeah, my dad and Tony Fernandez, if you know.
Okay.
So these two guys, him and Tony, started this airline in Malaysia called AirAsia. So this airline, Tony is the marketing guy and my dad is the finance guy.
Okay.
So my partner, which is my podcast partner, he's a marketing guy and I'm like a finance guy. Our background is like that. He studied
Sure.
marketing. So we were like dreaming as if we're gonna be the future. So he asked me, can you please join me to do this business? So in the end I agreed and then we started. Even I asked my dad, he said, go for it. So that at least, this is maybe one lesson as well, that he never stopped me from doing anything, because he said, you don't want to go through life thinking maybe one day when you're older, like, fuck, what if I started that could be big, something.
Man, what if is going to
Yeah.
be the worst?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So he said, anything that you feel like doing, just do it, provided that the circumstances, yeah. So I did the budget for this business and I calculated everything, blah, blah, blah. So I needed 600,000 ringgit. So divide by 3, that's 200,000 Aussie dollar
Yep.
to start this business, to order about 10,000 units of lipsticks.
Okay.
So I went to my dad, I asked him, can I borrow 600,000 ringgit?
He's good for it.
Then he said, what the fuck you want to do with 600,000 ringgit? So I said, I want to start this lipstick business. And then he said, I started an airline, so he started AirAsia with only 1 million ringgit. Divide that by 3, that's 300,000
For
Aussie dollars.
airlines, you can't even buy a plane for that
Yeah.
much, surely. It's like,
So exactly. So he started an airline only with 1 million ringgit. That's what he said to me. I said, how do you do it? I asked him. He said, 1 million ringgit, it was just the business plan. Then the rest, they sold forward. So
yeah, nice.
AirAsia is a different story. You have to
I'll have to get
research
your
that
dad.
by yourself. Yeah.
Get your dad on the podcast.
Yeah,
next time.
I'm doing his podcast maybe around end of this year, maybe.
Nice.
Yeah. But anyways, so he said, I started an airline with 1 million ringgit, which is 300,000 Aussie dollar.
Yeah.
You want to start a lipstick business with 600,000 ringgit, which is 200,000 Aussie dollar. I said, oh.
That is a big, like,
Right.
fuck.
Then I said, but how do you do it? I said, how do you start an airline with only ringgit, right? He said, I sell forward. I said, what do you mean? People flying next year, which we don't have to service yet, we sell today. So, so that's how it works. So then I went back to my room. I redid the budget. So what I did was, we did the same deposit style with the t-shirts.
Oh, you'd already done this with the
Yeah, with the
cheerleading shirts,
t-shirt.
Yeah.
So about 600,000. We needed 600,000. I remember we broke it into, we needed 5 partners. 5 partners, each paying 50,000 Aussie dollar.
Okay.
So each paying
That's
50.
even more than
Yeah,
that.
exactly. Slightly more. I remember day one already profit a bit more. So slightly more, about 50 times 5.
50 grand. 750,000.
750,000 ringgit. Yeah, that was exactly how much we raised. So what we did was, we did a very beautiful
These
deck.
five partners are just investors. They're not involved.
No,
In,
they are, we call it partners, a location partner. For example, Sydney, one distributor. So it's Sydney partner. So maybe Melbourne partner.
Sure.
And then Gold Coast
Was this
partner.
only Malaysia though?
Only Malaysia.
Sure.
Yeah, and we had Singapore and Brunei as well.
Cool.
We had a partner of Singapore, Brunei. So we had the KL. So across Malaysia, we had 5 partners to simplify it. So that's how we did. We collected 50% deposit, and then 1 week before the item arrived, we had to pay the other 50%.
Okay.
So, and we were short of 1 partner, man. For that time, imagine 21 years old, and then you're short of 50,000 Aussie dollar, which you don't know where to get.
Yeah.
You know, you went to knock on everybody's door. I went to every state in Malaysia. Like, imagine you travel across the whole Australia.
Yeah.
You went to Sydney, you went to Melbourne, you went to Gold Coast, but you shot. I got 4. I locked 4, and 1 week before the lipsticks arrived, I was still down by 1. But this is, I have to instill a bit of, in terms of my religious values, Islamic religious values, is we didn't stop praying.
Yeah.
So in the end, the last partner, you know where we found the last partner was right in front of our office. Yeah, we went through the whole Malaysia, you know, every state. There's 14 states. We went through every state, meet every business people to try to sell the last partner package, but we couldn't get it. And then last, we got from this this lady we met in front of our office. She said, how many margin you giving? We said, we give 45%. That's a lot. I want to invest now. I said, okay, let me go get the paperwork and I'll send it to you. Say, no need, I transfer to you now. I know how young people do business, right? You need money for cash flow. I said, it's like God sent, you know?
Yeah.
And you imagine, 21 years old, you have 50,000 Aussie dollar you have to pay. If not, next week you don't get the products out. I couldn't sleep, man, at night, every night.
Shit.
I joined, I think, more than thousands Facebook groups. You know how Facebook groups, there's like, look for work, look for business,
Sure.
part-time business.
Yeah.
I joined all that trying to promote people to be our distributor, but couldn't find.
Wow.
But
So what was the, real quick, just to get into the minutiae a bit here, but what was the pitch? How do you approach and find out and leads and stuff to get these partners? What does that look like?
so the
Because
first,
I think that's completely, because I know you're in the world of business,
Yep.
but I think that's completely foreign concept for most people. Like,
Yeah.
I had this idea for these lipsticks, now I need to find 5 people to give me 50 grand. Like,
Yeah.
how does that even happen?
first you need the pitch deck, right? So the pitch deck is your plans, your product. So you have your sample. We got the sample from the factory, and then of course we are a celebrity partner. So I was always swagging this. I'm just targeting 1% of this celebrity's following, right? And then the last part inside the agreement, what we did was we put there, if you can't sell, you can return it back to us. So that
To
was
the customer.
no,
to the
to the
distributor.
distributor. If you can't sell it, give it back. It's a sure thing. If you
So
can't
they're
sell
giving
it,
you 50 grand for 50 grand worth of the product.
Yeah.
And then they hope to sell it for 200 or 100 grand or
Yeah,
whatever.
yep.
And then if they can't, they can sell it back to you.
correct, yeah. So that's how the
How are you going to buy it back from them?
that one we think later, right?
Yeah, sure.
Being a 21-year-old entrepreneur,
Just put
you
it
know,
in. Just put it in.
yeah, just put it in. And as long as we get the cash to pay for the first shipment, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, so that was our number one priority, to clear the shipment, because imagine you already collect money from 4 people, but because of this one, the shipment can't clear, you can't commit to the delivery date.
Yeah.
And then you also have the celebrity to manage, right? She's already expecting, I'm going to launch my product this time, and already giving like all this
Yeah, push for the
push for that.
exams
Yeah,
and-
very stressful time, man. That time,
yeah.
being a 21-year-old. Yeah.
And this is only a few weeks, really. This stress.
no, it's like couple of months pushing. Yeah.
Yeah.
But the few weeks is the real pressure because you need to find 50,000 Aussie dollar.
Okay, before we reveal how it all went down for this first shipment, how did you, as a 21-year-old guy just out of uni, how did you actually deal with that pressure? Who was around you? What was your support system? What was your dad saying? Like, you know, did you have a girl? Like what was your life looking like, and how did you actually manage yourself and not just fall into a million pieces?
Yeah. So, to me, I think it's a lot to do with my upbringing, right? So always think positive, and then only you can change your destiny, right? And you can take action as long as it's not too late. Like ever since I was studying, as long as the exam is not in an hour, I can still make a difference.
Yeah.
So same as this, my concept was every night is just thinking what am I gonna do tomorrow. Once I wake up, what am I gonna do tomorrow?
Yeah.
Right. So tomorrow when I wake up, okay, I do this, and then if the day doesn't pass, you can't get it. So as long as it's not next week, which is the delivery is next week, right? We can still do something tomorrow. That's why we traveled the whole.
Yeah, nice.
And then like I told you, my support system have always been God. So whenever like I'm in like that deep pressure, right? I just prayed. Woke up at night, prayed. Woke up in the morning, prayed. At all times, prayed. And then this happened to me a couple of times because I've done a lot of businesses, and you can plan as much as you want, but not necessarily things gonna go down as you plan,
Sure.
right? So when you want to solve it, but somehow there's always a solution.
Yeah.
And God helped me so many times. Like for example, this. Who else can arrange a lady to be right in front at our office, right? Ready to pay,
Yeah.
immediately pay without signing any papers, right?
Yeah.
And then right 1 week before my delivery date. Who else can do
That's
that if it's
so
not
good.
divine intervention?
Mate, fair enough. And like,
Yeah.
so, yeah, that's, yeah. I mean, bloody
This
hell.
is just one example. I've had so many in my life. So my faith towards my God.
So
is
I
like-
guess like, because I think a lot of, and definitely me, right? If they were in that position, I'm thinking so much about the big picture of like what happens in a week's time if we can't do it. What happens and so it's almost hard. It's quite a distraction. The future is a distraction
Yeah,
from
yeah,
that
yeah.
executing today.
Correct.
You know, what do I need to do today? What can I do to make a difference today?
Yep.
But I get drowned out by that idea of the future.
Yep.
Are you kind of saying you can leave that in God's hands? All I have to do as my little monkey self is just focus on today. What can I achieve today?
Step by step. But you need, like, that was my first business, right? So we've already had a big picture where we already thought about the big picture, because I think big picture is always a key thing in entrepreneurship, because you need that drive when it's tough. So you need something worth even putting your foot in, right? So even that time we were already thinking the whole Malaysia celebrity and Indonesia, Thailand, Singapore is going to be under our management or whatnot, right?
Sure.
So that's the La La Land where you're going to be. And then I like to do budgets. I'm a finance person. So how much you can actually make from this business. So I already predicted like 2 years after I'm going to be a millionaire, right? Which didn't
Didn't come to fruition.
because we were naive.
Yeah.
We didn't know what the real world was about, right? We thought it's as simple as, just do this, do a little bit of this and that, and then it's gonna work.
Yep.
I bought my first car, which is a really expensive car at that time, and I didn't have money to pay for it.
Oh
even.
no. That's terrible.
Because I thought, I'm gonna pay it in full in 2 years. Because based on my budget, I'll be making this much, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
What was the car?
It was a BMW M2.
Oh, not
Yeah.
bad. Yeah. Not bad
It
at
was
all.
one of my, until today I don't have a car anymore. Because I learned my lesson
Oh,
and the pain
shit.
of paying for it, right?
Yeah. Okay, so what happened? You got the 5 partners.
Yeah.
You hit that first delivery. It all went out to the distributors.
Yep.
The celebrity was good.
Yep.
Posted it all. What? And then how did it sell?
Yeah. One is pricing was wrong. Our pricing was too expensive compared to the market. A lot. Celebrity, the celebrity we partnered with. I'm not saying she's not good. She is, but the vision is not aligned. she wants to build her business, her product, like a high-end product, which we don't have budget for. You know how you want to do high-end product, you have to do branding, a lot of branding push, a lot of that, which we don't have money for. Like you calculated really spot on, 750,000. So we only had 100,000 ringgit extra to play with.
Yeah.
After all that, so we started this year with zero capital, by the way.
Yeah.
So we only put 3,000 ringgit, me 1,500, my partner 1,500 to set up the company, all
Yeah.
this administrative stuff. So what went wrong? One, pricing. All of us, we were young. We thought we were smarter than everybody. Didn't
Yeah.
want to listen to people. All this kind of
What were
stuff.
people telling you as well?
My brother said, not necessarily you're targeting 1% of the, because I asked from him the 50,000 Aussie dollar. He said, fuck off. I said, why? I said, you show me what your plan is. I showed him because you know you're asking for my brother. I said, just fucking give me, man. I said, I'll give it back to you in 2 weeks. Don't worry, I'll get it back. I sell it off. I'll give it back to you. He said, nope, I'm not giving it to you.
Yeah.
Right? I said, I'm only selling to 1%. And then he said, no, I'm not giving it to you. I said,
Did that kind of have you think, shit, am I doing the right thing if my brother doesn't believe
not
me?
really.
No.
That time we were egoistic. We
Yeah.
think that me and my partner, both of us think we're the smartest people in the world, you know? Like we can rule the world, kind of. Like,
Yeah.
you know, you did your budget. In 2 years, you're going to be a millionaire.
Yeah,
We're on the right
sounds good
track.
to me, yeah.
And then imagine every partner you meet, you do because we did a very beautiful deck. And every partner said, you guys are very smart, young kids, 21 years old, the ones that give money, right? They said, I'm very impressed with. So you imagine people like,
So
like,
they're
blowing
living the dream
blowing
with
up.
you. Yeah.
So
yeah.
you're like, oh, we're smart, you know,
Yeah.
we know our shit. So, and then the minute we launched, sold out the first week. That's what we thought.
So
But
what
nothing
yeah, what
happened as we planned. Yeah.
Okay, so what did happen?
Yeah, so it didn't sell out. So some partners had problems finishing up their stock. So if they can't finish, they can't restock, right? So in the end, we already defocused because we were panicking. From the business itself, we can't generate. So my partner went on doing hotel tours. So he goes to hotel because him and his wife quite known. So he'll do a hotel tour, staying in the hotel, and he loves staying in the hotel. Do hotel tours, and the hotels pay him
Online?
yeah, like do the video
Yeah,
and everything
sure.
using our resources. Do the video and then get money from that. Then we went into advisory. We advised the what do you call that? Tuition center. I was advising the finance side, and then
So
my
you're
partner-
telling them how to do business.
Exactly.
You stuffed up your-
But you were desperate, right? But they were
Bro.
paying us well. The tuition center was paying us 20,000 ringgit divide by 3.
Okay.
20,000?
6.5 grand.
6.5 grand. So they were paying us well, so we
Yeah.
can't complain. We use that money
Per
to
week or per?
No, per month.
Per month, yeah.
20,000
So you
ringgit,
use that to buy back from the distributors over
Yeah.
the next few weeks?
Not really. We use that to pay our staff, pay for the office, and you know, pay for our lifestyle.
Yeah, right, okay. So basically
Pay
you
for
had
my
this
car.
huge launch, it kind of half worked, and then you realized, fuck, we need to get actual jobs.
Yeah. But we were doing things like side stuff, right? And then then that time where I was traveling with my dad. We went to UK, and then coming back, we dropped by Japan to launch AirAsia Japan. And that time, Tony asked me. It was during a AirAsia party. So Tony asked me, "What are you
Who's
doing?"
Tony, sorry?
Tony is my dad's partner.
Okay,
He's
yeah.
a CEO for
Tony,
AirAsia. Yeah, he's a CEO for AirAsia. So during that party, he asked me, "What are you doing?" I said, "I sell lipsticks." And then he said, "I don't think it's gonna go anywhere. What do you think of our company culture? Because AirAsia, there's a lot of parties and all this, very vibrant. It's like Virgin. You know Virgin,
Yeah,
right?
sure.
Richard Branson.
It's like
So-
Asian version.
Yeah, Asian Virgin.
Yeah.
Because
Actually, the
u-
logo is kind of similar.
Yeah, exactly. So Tony used to work for Richard Branson,
Okay.
and they are quite close.
Yeah.
So that's how AirAsia formed itself to be that kind of
Cool.
culture. So then I was like, he said, "Why don't you come?" And I'm bringing in this one guy, the CEO for, used to be our CEO for F1 Caterham, but he's joining AirAsia, so he asked, why don't you come and join to be his executive assistant? So you can learn a lot from CEO office point of view, right? So that's where I called my partner. I said, bro, I got this offer, man, from Tony, right? What do you think, right? Should we continue? I said, or can I do half and half, or should I leave the business? I said, maybe better if you leave the business, right?
Okay.
So, but
And
in good terms.
timeline from that first initial launch, how is this weeks or months or years afterwards?
About a year and a half after.
Oh, so that first initial launch,
Yeah.
and then did you eventually sell it all out and then restock or?
Some partners sold out and restocked, some didn't.
Okay.
Yeah. So some I didn't know because after that
So
when
it kind of trickled. It didn't
Yeah.
like completely flop.
no, not completely flopped. Even that business is until today is still alive.
Okay.
But my partner runs it with the different celebrity brands.
Okay.
Yeah,
Cool.
which is doing quite well.
Nice.
Yeah.
Oh, awesome.
So it's just that
That's a
particular
nicer
brand.
end to the story.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Oh, good podcast.
Yeah.
You pulled me back in.
Yeah.
I start
Cool.
talking about everything else. Right?
No, but awesome. Okay, so that really kicks off the AirAsia thing. So
Yeah.
but you were in the lipstick world and that whole thing for a couple of years, and then
Yeah.
got this opportunity to kind of be a little highly paid, I'm sure, intern for one of the top dogs in AirAsia.
Not really highly paid.
Hopefully,
Yeah. Because even though my dad is the founder and everything, there's a true separation, right? Well, I'm not working in AirAsia as a high executive. I'm like,
well,
I
he's
started,
seen what you did the lipstick. He's not going to give you.
yeah, it's not even that, right? Sometimes I always think as well, why back then I used to think like, why can't you just give me that 50,000 Aussie dollar, right? Or why can't you just give me that? Because you have money. And now because I help him a lot financially, I know how much he has, right? Everything. I said, fuck, just give me some. It's like nothing, right?
Yeah.
But that actually, because I'm a big fan of this guy called Gary Vee as well, right?
Yep.
So he spoke about don't put your kids on payroll, because once you put your kids on payroll, right, it's like an animal in a cage. So once you open the cage and you let them be free, they can't survive.
No.
Right? So until today, I'm thankful to my dad, because fast forward about 10 years, right? I'm like an animal in the wild.
I'm sure
in
he's
the-
he's never going to let you sink and drown.
Correct.
But he's really not giving you many
he's not
floaties.
giving. Yeah, exactly. But I mean, like, when I didn't have money, I had a place to stay. He gave me. He never lack of advice whenever I need to run by
He's
numbers.
never been like, you fucked up, so I'm not going to talk to you or something.
Yeah, no, none. So still, I'm grateful to him for providing everything. Food, when I don't have money, I can go home, I can eat food, place to sleep, everything,
Yeah.
the basic,
And to be honest,
it's all
that's,
covered.
that's what most middle class and beyond people, I mean, most have.
Yeah.
That's not a not normal thing,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
It's not like, oh my God, I'm living luxury. Like,
Yeah.
No, cool.
So even that time, like, because being a son of a big corporation in Malaysia, you have friends that are also, like sons or daughters of
Sure.
big corporations in Malaysia
Yeah.
as well. So they always, spend luxury and all that. So for me, that time, I didn't have much money, right? But it's not nice that every time they pay for me. So there was even times where, okay, I'll pay because I need to still put so I pay like maybe 500 Aussie dollar worth of food, dinner, then 1 month you won't see me, because that's my whole entire, but I wanted to build that relationship still,
Sure.
right?
So, like,
I'll
when it
pay,
comes-
but they none of them know this. Yeah.
Do they know that or?
No, they don't know.
No, okay.
I'll just pay one time and then I'll be missing.
Yeah.
They ask me, no, I'm so busy, man. I'm like,
That's
"I'm actually,
because
yeah."
from them it's just from daddy, right?
Yeah.
But like,
Some from daddy, or a lot, they are entrusted to be directors of their.
Sure, okay.
So it's from the company, and they actually, a lot of them are very smart.
I'm sure.
Not like
Yeah.
just relax, enjoying life, and then get money. So a lot of them are very smart.
That's
I
very
cannot- yeah.
interesting though, that because I think there's an easy option to be resentful of maybe your dad or of those groups of people and be like, I don't want to be a part of this at all because like I want to make my own. And there's also a part of it's like, I just want to be, normal. But you're kind of treading that line. I want to be part of it. I'm willing to pay my way,
Yep.
but then you won't see me because I've got,
Yeah.
for now, I've got limited resource.
Yeah,
you know?
yeah.
That's a really cool way of doing
'Cause
it.
I was working in AirAsia. To me, it's more of a responsibility,
Yeah.
but it's more profitable being outside. 'Cause I
Sure.
make much more now outside
Yeah.
compared to being an executive. But I learned a lot. 6 years there. Imagine, Okay, so you want to start from the AirAsia start?
Yeah.
So imagine when 6 years, I was in AirAsia for 6 years. Bare minimum salary. I can tell you, when I joined, it was 5,000 ringgit. It was,
What, 1,300 Aussie a month?
yeah, 1,300.
That's not a lot.
Divide by 3.
Yeah, that's like 3-4 times less than minimum wage in
Yeah.
Australia.
Actually, when I started,
3
it was
times less.
even lower, about 1,000 Aussie, I think, times 3. Yeah, 3,000 ringgit. But
Okay.
then after a while, I got bumped up to 5,000 ringgit. Right? It's a normal process following the policy, AirAsia policy, nothing because my dad or anything, nothing.
Cool.
Followed based on my performance and everything, right? So, yeah, so I was starting at that salary.
And how did people, sorry to keep on interrupting, but in the office, people would have known who your
Yeah,
dad
yeah, yeah.
was. Like, so how did they?
Things are easier, but you can't, like, for me, what I've learned is you don't use it as a, you just deal, you use it as an advantage to when you're dealing, because you know how the corporate life, maybe you wouldn't know, but in the corporate life is a lot of politics and all this, right?
Sure.
Yeah,
so no one can really touch you.
Yeah.
Like, no one's gonna
Yeah.
start talking shit.
So you use that kind of stuff,
But people
but you
must
still
have-
have respectful because you carry
Yeah,
the name.
exactly.
If you're being an asshole, say fuck you, fuck you, fuck you, you kick everybody, and you know,
and they're gonna put that on your dad
Correct.
as well. Yeah. And the
so you
company,
need to
like.
build that respect on yourself, by yourself as well. So how you deal with people. So yeah. Oh, sorry, you were
Very
going.
cool. No. That's perfectly answered. Yeah. I guess keep on going with your AirAsia, like.
Yeah.
working
So you
well.
imagine, I was in AirAsia for 6 years. My partner continued his business. The year after 2 years. So for me, right, entrepreneurship is you just don't give up, because when you don't give up, eventually you will make it.
Yeah.
Right. So my partner, he stick to the business.
in the lipstick.
Lipstick,
Yeah.
but he slowly fan off the lipstick, and he started a new brand, and that brand took off.
Really?
So the second, third year, he was already a millionaire.
Awesome.
Imagine me
You're
in AirAsia,
I'm in AirAsia on
right,
$1,000 a day.
on, right, 1,300 Aussie dollar, right, working, looking at my partner with his billboards, because I drive to the airport. His billboards around,
bro.
right? He scaled billboards. He was scaling up his business that time. So every day I drive, I see his billboards. But I'm happy for him.
Yeah.
You know, I don't feel resentful or anything.
Oh, just a.
a little bit. But you imagine being in my shoes, right?
Yeah.
You know, you quit the business, join a corporate company, right? And then you see all your friends that started at the same time as you now thriving, right? Bought an R8, now living in a bungalow.
Wow.
Lifestyle change, right?
Yeah.
Whole lifestyle change.
And it might cost a bit more than $500 to pay for dinner.
Yeah, right. But I stick to the program because I have my own pathway, right? So I believe being in an AirAsia in CEO office is also a different.
Oh, that's a long-term play as
Correct.
well.
It's
Yeah.
a long-term play. So rather than I make the quick buck, I sacrifice for 6 years. But I wouldn't say sacrifice. I enjoyed every moment of
And
it.
you felt like you were learning
Correct.
the whole time.
The learning curve is like vertical, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So
even
learning a lot.
even that, like, have you got any tips for people might feel like they're in, like, a lot of my friends are, you know,
in the corporate life.
Yeah, like in the start of the corporate life in that sense, and they probably don't have the opportunities necessarily, but some of them will. Like, I went to a good school. Some people, you know, might be in their dad's company or something. How did you actually, like, make sure you weren't learning it, but it was going out the other ear? Were you notes? Were you like how
Alright,
are you soaking it in?
Because so at the start, before I joined, I started my own business, right? So I did budgets as I think it should, using university textbooks and Googling.
Yeah.
I did strategy, budget strategy. I did everything, like the whole. I run it, my startup. I run it like a corporate.
Sure.
Like because I studied it, right?
Yeah.
And then it's fresh in my mind. I implement it into my business, the lipstick business. So I did everything, and then you remember we did an advisory for the
Yeah,
tuition
yeah,
center.
yeah.
We did all this stuff,
That's
right?
so funny.
But as if we are smart, you know, as if.
Yeah.
But actually, we didn't know the right way because we had no experience.
No shit.
Yeah, it was just from my textbook.
But that tuition class must look at the lipstick brand now and be like, yeah, well, we had them in for
Yeah, probably.
millions of
Probably,
dollars.
yeah.
Hang on, I'm just going to move this real quick.
Yeah, because of the sun.
Yeah, because the sun.
How is it so far?
Mate, unreal. Loving it. Are you enjoying yourself?
Yeah.
Sick.
I never shared, right?
Alrighty.
Yeah.
Cool. So yeah, it's the tuition, everything. Like,
Yeah. So we were doing all this like corporate stuff as if, but using our own brain and mind, you know.
but that's
and
perfect.
textbook.
That's how you should
Yeah.
be. Like, yeah,
Yeah.
any company, the fucking tomato stand should be
Yeah.
run like at least
Proper
the
business,
structures,
right?
and it won't need a lot of
Yeah.
what those big corporates need. Like, it won't
Exactly.
need some HR person probably.
Yeah, exactly.
But
So when I joined AirAsia, then I had to work on budget the proper way. So imagine, because I did the business before, then I start doing real budget. I'm like, oh, so this is how you do budget.
Yeah.
The real way,
Yeah.
right? The right way. And then when I was doing marketing plans for Asia, I was involved in the marketing strategy. I'm like, oh, so this is how you strategize properly. You do quarterly basis and stuff
Yeah.
like that, right?
Yeah.
So the lessons I learned in AirAsia was even more concrete, if I
sure.
may.
And
Because,
I think like it's important because it's funny you say this. I, started a tiny business, freediving school
Yeah,
in
yeah.
Guatemala, and felt myself like, maybe similar to you, like a limited success.
yeah,
And like, I don't even know how to. I feel something, but I don't know
Yeah.
how. And then I got back, and I was in this not very, but somewhat corporate sales role, and the books I was reading and blah 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 and things. And I'm like, oh, that's what
how
I
you
was.
do it,
Yeah,
yeah.
I was kind of there, but not quite. you know?
yeah.
Yeah, so that's very similar. That's very cool.
Yeah, that's why I really like all these books. When you told me to read E-Myth, I can't wait to read it as well, because I hold by this one saying where smart people learn from your own mistakes. So what we were doing during your freediving school,
Yeah.
me and the lipstick, we were learning from our own mistake. But wise people learn from other people's mistake, right? So you read books, you get other people's mistake,
Yeah.
and then you
It's
try
just
to
Getting yourself
fix
out
it.
of that 21-year-old mind
Exactly.
and knowing everything, right? That's
Exactly.
the hard one.
Yeah.
Especially as a young bloke.
But you have to go through it.
Yeah.
Then you'll understand.
Brilliant. And this kind of leads us. So you've had this huge growth journey through AirAsia, but on the side you haven't been stopping doing businesses.
So when I first joined, I said to my partner, I'm gonna stop because I know AirAsia is crazy work, right? They're like really active company, right? So I said to my partner after we split, then I wanted to 100% focus on AirAsia. So when in the first 6 to 12 months, maybe I can't remember, I didn't do any business. Or
No.
maybe 6 months, I think. Not too
You're
long
like,
after. Yeah, you can't take the entrepreneur
Yeah.
out of the person, right?
You're doing another spreadsheet,
Yeah.
thinking about the next thing. You look at the billboards, like, fuck.
No, a friend of mine actually came to me and said, I found this amazing slimming product from Vietnam, right? But I need some money. Do you want to invest a bit? So I just invested like 1,500 ringgit, which was 500 Aussie dollar.
bucks, yeah.
And then I made 5,000 or 6,000 the next.
Really?
The next 2 weeks or something like that. She gave it back to me.
Okay.
I said, do you want to go more? Go
Yeah.
in more, let's buy more. I said, okay. Then I bought, with that same money, I bought more. And then we bought more. And then it started.
You're making like 2 years of AirAsia salary in like
Yeah,
a few months.
probably. Yeah. In that couple of. So this is the point again where I bought my car, right? I was always looking for extra money.
So was your car and having to pay those payments
Exactly.
a big pressure on you to like, I need to keep on
Yes.
striving to make
Yes.
money because I want this car?
Yeah.
Wow, that's
so this
interesting,
car,
isn't it?
well, I was a slave to this car because the initial plan when I started the lipstick business, 2 years, I'll pay it in full. But
Yeah.
now I have this 4,000 ringgit.
Yeah.
It's 4,000 ringgit per month, which is
That's your
about
salary, bro.
1,200. Yeah, that's about 90%.
Okay.
Can you imagine? So I had savings when I was studying and all that. So all that
Savings
savings
into the
went
car
out.
loan.
No, emptied. Emptied. I had like 70,000 grand of ringgit.
Oh,
Divide by
shit.
3, that's about
Yeah, 23.
20,000.
Yeah, when people have
Yeah.
gone over the divide by 3.
Yeah, divide by 3. So I finished it all. My savings, right? And then, but this I had to go to see my dad. I said, Father, I'm fucked, because I start getting these messages from the bank saying like, you need to pay it up. If not, you're fucked. They will need to do the necessary.
Okay.
I didn't get to that point, so I don't know what will happen. But I've been getting this
Take your
this
car.
prompt
They go to towing.
from the bank. Yeah, said this is a reminder your is due.
And you put in credit cards and stuff.
No, I don't have credit card.
Okay.
Yeah.
Lucky.
I don't think so. But it's just the car.
Yeah.
So I had to go see my dad. I said, I'm really dead now. I can't. Please help me. I need to. I will pay you back. So then he helped me every
But
month.
Did he not say sell the car?
No, he didn't.
Okay, that's interesting.
Yeah, he didn't.
Yeah.
I said, think what you want to do. He said like that. He
Yeah.
always asks, let us decide.
Yeah.
Interesting, huh? I didn't think of
I'm
that.
surprised, but if I were your dad, I think I would have said, well, you can just sell the car.
Yeah. That's true. He didn't say that.
Interesting.
Anyways, so he helped me pay for the car because it was still quite recent, right? I just got the car. I think probably that's why.
Yeah.
So maybe 1 year with the car, it's not gonna sell the car. But he was telling me, I said, you see? He was like, say, you don't have the money, but you want to buy a car. You see? Now you learn, right? Because he also, I think he had the same experience. Back then he had all these cars on loan, right? And then when shit hit the fan, he had the same. So I think he wanted to
Yeah.
teach me something, right? So I borrowed him. But while I borrowed him, I was actively looking for money. So imagine, okay, I even sold a Tom and Jerry show during this time while I was in AirAsia. I
Okay.
sold Tom and Jerry show to an RTM, which is the local TV station. I
Yeah.
sold Tom and Jerry. I made 70 grand from that.
You sold Tom and Jerry.
Tom and Jerry. So we got the license from
Oh,
Fox
the
Movies.
license.
Yeah, the license
Okay,
from Fox.
right. Yeah.
Through collaboration,
Yeah.
right? We got the license from Fox and then we sold it to, and then I made 70 grand. But then I was owing my dad 60 grand. So I had to pay him.
Yeah.
So I said, fuck, every deal I made and every cash I
going into
made
this car.
is all going to the car. So I'm like a slave to this car now.
Yeah.
So that's where it hits me. Fuck, I sell the car.
Oh, you did?
I did.
Okay.
2 years after or something like that. yeah.
Wow. Okay. Yeah. Cool. Okay. Nice.
So I did sell the car after 2 years. I got
Yeah.
bored of it, and
So you're just doing these deals and quick cash grabs,
Quick
though.
cash
Nothing
grabs.
like long term.
nothing
No,
long
no,
term.
no. And when was the first?
The
and this-
slimming product was supposed to be something long term,
Yeah.
but I just couldn't work. I don't know why. You know, because I changed partners. Because my initial partner, the one that did, then we wanted to go big, right? So then we invested, and then you know when that happens, we order big bulk from Vietnam, and then I said, okay, now let's scale it to all pharmacy and all that, right? So we had to send it to lab and all that, and then we found something inside, which
Oh.
is a drug that makes people
Addicted.
it makes you not want to eat.
Okay.
Like
Yeah.
curb your what?
Ozempic or something. Whatever.
Yeah, that is a famous drug
Yeah.
that is prohibited,
Okay.
but it's famous for in all the slimming products.
So you can kind of sell it on the street, like.
Yeah, I sell it on Instagram, on and then referral.
Yeah.
Oh, we made quite decent amount of money,
Yeah.
right? But then I want to take it big. So every business, we want to get it to the
Yeah.
next level.
And
to
there's
the
a
next
reason why no one else had taken it.
Yeah. So that's when I remember I was diving in one of the islands in Malaysia. My partner called me and said, I have bad news. What? There's this stuff inside. I'm like, fuck. We stopped, we find a different product.
Sure.
do
That's
that,
good that, like, because I think a lot of people would be tempted to
Just
not
sell it.
scale it, but just keep on selling it at that speed.
Oh no.
You know, like, because it was
Still
already
good money, yeah.
medium. That's probably good money. Like, you know, it's probably paid for the
Yeah,
car. So you
yeah.
can buy, we won't take it to the pharmacies, but we'll keep
Yeah.
on selling it through Instagram. And
Exactly.
and if that's not the case, like if you had that conscious thing of, as soon as we know that it's probably not the best thing to move forward with,
Yep.
I think that's perfectly reasonable. Hey. Yeah. Yeah.
So yeah.
Oh,
So we switched product, detox.
yeah.
But you can't do that, man. Like I believe that's God, right? So in the end, you get bite in the ass, man.
Sure.
Back, right?
Yeah.
So if
for
you
those
not-
quick things,
Yeah,
if that's
for
your
those-
intention, right?
yeah.
Just to get quick money to pay for your car loan, it's
Correct.
probably not gonna give proper
Yeah.
value to the world.
Yeah.
So then, okay, are there a few more deals? Are you back in AirAsia? Are you?
Well, in
eventually
AirAsia,
find another-
mostly I was working on this, but so in AirAsia as well, quite interesting is that I was there for 6 years. So 2 years was when AirAsia was at its peak. So just to give a bit of touch of what happened in AirAsia, right?
Okay.
So AirAsia, which is an airline, I was there from 2018 all the way until last year,
Yeah.
2023. So 2 years experience in AirAsia when AirAsia was at its peak,
Okay.
meaning you can't fly anywhere anymore, like the Malaysia AirAsia, right? And then 2 years COVID time, 2020,
Right, of
21,
course, yeah.
right? So I witnessed from a CEO office standpoint, helicopter view, how we did mass firing, how you cut back costs completely, right? Everybody took a pay cut. Even I took 25%. My boss took 50%. The higher it goes, 75%. And then my dad and Tony 100% for the period of COVID.
Yeah.
Anybody which is 1,000 or 2,000 Aussie below don't need any haircut. They all maintain their salary. So I witnessed all that for the 2 years, 2020, 21.
Were there any things in that whole process that kind of made you feel queasy almost?
Yeah.
Like, were there any moments you can remember?
For me, it's just a job, right?
Yeah.
So going is more worse for the owners because they have to think of all that, right? So I see that a bit, but think better I don't mention. But
Yeah.
from my standpoint, it's just fuck. You don't have a job.
Yeah.
You're not working, right? The
Sure.
first 1 month of standstill. But then after that, the flights is when we launch our next flight. But I was quite free that time, right? Because the workload is not as much as it used to be.
Sure.
So that's where I started getting involved into more businesses.
Okay.
Yeah.
So what's on next for the?
Yeah.
What's on the what's the next flight?
So that time during COVID, I said to my partner. That time I already have a different partner, not the same lady. My partner, which is still my partner now, his name is Adrian. So I said to my partner, this year is gonna be the last year we do this slimming product. If it's not gonna work, fuck this business.
Yeah.
I said, right? So this was the year. Then I studied everything, man. I joined this class because during COVID I signed up for this class, Millionaire Mastery, e-commerce Millionaire Mastery.
Okay.
I joined Start and Scale. This is from Australia.
Yeah.
The teacher, the person that introduced was from a magazine called Founder.
Okay.
If you know.
I think I've heard of it. Yep.
Yeah, and then there's this one entrepreneur. She's a lady. She started 4 businesses and then sold it off. So this girl, and then what else?
So you're doing a lot of courses.
A lot of courses during COVID, plus there, and then I implemented to my slimming product business and all that. But towards the end, still it couldn't work, man. It just couldn't work with the.
Looking back now, do you have any answers to why it couldn't work? Was your heart not fully in it? Is it something you didn't
Yeah.
want to do forever? Like,
Yeah, heart not fully in it because the style that we were doing was during like a direct selling method, which we don't like, which I have to go online and train my distributors. And then, because I went to a class that taught us how to do that.
yeah.
Then I was like, okay, set up meeting. I had to do live every day. I did live on Instagram every day. I was like, talking about the product and all that, right? But
So by direct selling, do you mean face-to-face sales?
yeah, face-to-face sales. But you sell to a stockist, they call it stockist, and the
Okay.
stockist sell it to an agent sell it to the direct user.
Okay.
Yeah, but you as the brand owner have to facilitate all this, right?
Yeah.
The trainings, the collaterals, the marketing collaterals for them to distribute. A lot of things that weren't
It's very intensive.
not aligned to my soul.
Sure.
But we were also implementing the e-commerce strategy. Then we went for Facebook ads class, Instagram ads class, all this ads, campaign class. But we couldn't apply it to the slimming product because every time you do it, it gets banned.
Okay.
Yeah, so because it's prohibited to market a
Right.
slimming product.
Okay.
And it's prohibited to like selling tobacco or
Yeah,
selling
okay, I
any
didn't know
vape.
that.
You can't
Yeah,
do
yeah, yeah.
Facebook ads for it.
Right.
Or prostitution, all this.
Yeah.
Facebook is really strict about it.
Sure.
So like you launch a ad, then in the next hour it will be
Yeah.
taken down. Then your ad account is completely blocked.
Wow. Okay.
Shit like that, right? But so towards the end of the year, didn't work. We were making during the high time of the slimming product, we were making about 20,000 Aussie
Yeah.
per month,
Nice.
right? But
two of you.
the two of us, during the low time, it was only like 5,000 Aussie, and then pay salary, pay rent, office rent, all that.
Yeah,
nothing left. Nothing
yeah,
left.
Yeah,
Yeah.
okay. Yeah, sure. So you finally decide to. Was there anything like nailed in the coffin that you decided to? This is the last thing. I'm done, or was it just a?
No. It was like on to the next thing. So
Yeah.
we said, okay, Adrian, we stopped this business. So when I stopped, then I was listening to audiobook, studying, looking for the next gig, right? While looking for the next gig, I thought, hey, maybe I should sign up for Uber. But in Malaysia, it's called Lala Move.
Okay.
So while I'm doing this, at least I can earn while I'm
Yeah.
listening to
Okay,
listening to
true.
books, ebooks, right?
Yeah.
To maximize my time.
Sure.
But I just couldn't get through. So while I was stressing in my kitchen about this Uber, because that time I don't know why, I sent my application and everything, but there was like this error. I was back and forth with the administrative
Yeah.
part. But maybe God doesn't want me to go towards that
Yeah.
towards that route. That time I was trying to my dad and my sister was sitting in front of me. So my sister has a clothing brand,
Yeah.
right? Then my sister was like, can you help me, guide me and all this? How do I guide you if you can't even, where's your budget? I asked you for the budget since last year, I couldn't get the budget. And then I heard budget and I'm like, I've been doing budget since I started my first.
So your dad is saying that to
my sister.
Yeah.
It's like, where's your budget? How do you plan if you don't have a budget? How do you know whether you're on track or not on track or whatever, right? So even though my businesses all failed, we always had budget. We always had a dashboard where we monitor how far are we from the target and all that. We always had all that. Even with the slimming product, even with the lipstick, everything had all this in place. So when I heard that, my dad is saying that, I said, budget? Then I said to my sister, do you want me to help you with your budget? I said, I don't want. You're busy with your slimming brand, which is Illy Herbs. You are busy with your slim. No, I just shut it down last week. And I said, oh, in that case, maybe you can help.
Yeah.
Then I said, give me one night. Then I asked for all the bank statement.
Yeah.
I did for her the budget, her budget. I did for her past year accounts, full year. I think that time was 2020. So I did 2019, 2020 accounts, and I did a budget for the year and next year. Then, of course, there are certain things I needed to ask this transaction is for what, but I did like a formula because I was quite good with the Excel and everything. I did a formula, just drop down, choose marketing or what expense it was, and it will automatically populate the budget.
Nice.
Right? So I said to her, I did one, and I saw inside the company they had 200,000 ringgit divide by 3 in cash. I said, okay, here's your budget, pay me 5,000 ringgit. So, and she paid.
Yeah.
She paid. And I said, you know what? Your business has so much potential. You have this we can work on, this you can work on, this you can work on. So I said, I want to help you do all this, right? So when I came in, I said my number one mission was to upgrade the business with whatever knowledge that I have, that I've learned all these years, with budgets, e-commerce. Imagine now I can do all the Facebook ads that I have
so
learned.
essentially, you kind of were in such a rush that you picked up any product, the slimming product, whatever, and dumped all your knowledge, and it didn't quite work because it didn't fit right with you. But then your sister had been like, oh, I like clothes.
But she built the brand. It's a strong brand already.
Yeah, and then you can be like, yes, okay, this is the one to.
And then I remembered back when I was younger, we were in a plane, and then I liked how this one guy, he was a family friend. His name is Abang Adam. Abang means brother Adam. I like how he run his family, like all his siblings and all that. So I asked him, can you advise me how you do it and all that? So he said, I'll tell you one word, but you remember. He said what? He said, charity starts from home. So I said, what does that mean? Just remember that.
Okay.
I said, okay. So flashback now. So that's where when I started helping my sister, then I realized my true skill. My true skill is I'm a true collaborator, and by helping people with their stuff, I can, like supercharge it even better. So that's my skill. So I helped my sister with her brand. So you remember my partner Adrian. So we went through all the courses together. So I said, bro, we are gonna pivot this business. So we changed it into an e-commerce agency. No, the slimming product business.
Okay.
Which is the same company, born in 2017, right? We pivoted.
Yeah.
to become digital renegades, which is now the e-commerce
Okay.
agency.
Yeah.
So we do e-commerce and ad buying for brands.
Yeah.
So, but it started with one brand, my sister's brand. Now we have 8 brands under
Nice.
our service.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you just, as you say, they come with a strong brand maybe, and you take it and be like, "Doof, this is yeah."
So by during that time, I already begin with the end in mind, right? I already vision. So rather, to my friend, I said we're gonna start. We do for this brand first, for my sister's brand. Then once it's successful, then we go to all these other brands, all her friends,
Yeah.
brand friends, and then we take all of them to be
Yeah.
our client. And he said, "Fuck, good idea."
Yeah.
That time, my sister was paying me 2,000 ringgit, which was, and I had no shares in her business. So this is another lesson for me to share with everybody, right? When I did it, I didn't do it for money,
Yeah.
but I did it for what I can build.
Yeah.
The excitement of, fuck, there's so many areas that I can play around with. Because going into her business, she already have 3,000 customer database.
Yeah, perfect.
And then we know this knowledge that we learned from this e-commerce millionaire mastery taught us that you can load up all this customer database into Facebook ads, and then you can target lookalike. All these emails, you can target lookalikes.
Great. Yeah.
So we did all that. So when we joined 2020, my sister's business was doing 600,000 ringgit. The next year,
a year.
600,000
Yeah.
ringgit in revenue.
Yep.
The next year, after we did all this supercharging,
Yeah.
immediately 4 million ringgit. Yeah,
That's what, almost 7x.
almost 7x.
Six and a half. Yeah. Ah, yeah.
So that's where I found my true passion is more in and I was still working in AirAsia.
Because I guess you were, yeah, that's cool. But I guess before you were like, I want to be the captain, so I want to do everything, or at least influence everything. But really, you were good at this section.
Yeah.
And then it's like, well, if I just find people that are really good at this section and shit at this section,
Yeah.
I can be that section
Yeah.
for them.
That's essentially what I did, and I did it again until that's why we have these 12 businesses.
Perfect.
So, but this was the first hoorah, a real business. It was paying me 2,000 ringgit first, but now I'm a shareholder as well.
Yeah.
I got
Is this the closed one that I've seen?
the closed one, Petit
Cool.
Moi. Yeah, and then I started another brand with another partner, which is also a partner, and then I sold this brand to Petit Moi. So now we are doing Petit Moi as the group
Cool.
company, and then under it we have currently 4 brands.
Nice.
so
Oh man, that's epic.
yeah.
Well, does that kind of bring us to now, like in terms of your business journey? Is that more or less?
Until now,
Yeah.
more or less. So
Yeah.
I think we can kind of wrap it up.
Yeah,
soon
I have a lot of ulterior questions because
Yeah.
that's the business journey. Right?
Okay,
But like,
maybe we can jump into that.
yeah, like okay, I'm really interested in your dad, and not like who he is or whatever. But
So you know already, right? From the
yeah,
research,
I did know that, and like I guess, and a lot of it will have come out. But are there any things he obviously taught you a lot of things to do and how to do them? Are there any things that you saw in his journey, especially because you noticed that he was coming up? Because you're one of the older siblings, you said like he was coming up, and you saw that. Any things that you've seen like don't do that,
like something.
yeah,
Opposite?
Yeah, exactly. Or maybe in his life, like, you know, how he treated you guys or his mum or whatever. Like, were there any things like, I've learned so much of this, but like there's a few things that like I don't want to be like him in that sense?
More of he's quite strong, but it's not just him; it's the whole generation.
Sure.
Yeah.
Okay.
Like our generation now, even me, the way I run my team, my businesses, I always believe kindness is the way, you know. And it's also because I get hit, like I get whacked from him very hard, man.
Really? Okay. Yeah.
Yeah, but I like, not to say I like, it's never nice.
Yeah.
But every time there's whack, there's always a lesson at the end.
There's a reason and a lesson at the end. Yeah. So
there's
it's
a reason.
worthwhile.
Like I fuck up something or something,
Yeah.
right? Yeah. Because now all the businesses he's involved in as well. So
Yeah.
he's like my advisor, right?
Okay.
So I always run by him and I want the advice.
Yeah.
So you say, but in the end he'll say, but it's up to you, it's your business.
Yeah.
But if you want my advice like that, I said,
Sure.
and he'll because he's your dad, and then he's, you know how sometimes business with family is always not the easiest thing,
No,
right?
yeah.
But I'm the kind that I think I want that because I need to learn from him, and until when, right? Because this is the time where he is still around I need to squeeze as much as I can.
Nice, yeah.
You know what I mean?
So in that sense that he allows that hard truth, right?
Yeah.
Do you feel that for the generation following you, so maybe your employees, your teams, your kids, are there anything that you can think of that, because if you're nicer and softer, are they going to miss that hard?
Not really. I don't think that heart is needed because
Okay.
life will give them that heart
Life will give it
thing
to them.
by themselves.
Yeah,
You can just
true.
be kind because there's really, if you really think about it, right? When you whack someone or you fuck someone up or you scream at someone, there's zero positive actually.
Yeah.
You know, zero. Like you get worked up, that guy hates you, right? And what? He's gonna improve after. It's the same thing if you tell them nicely as well, right?
Yeah.
I said, I really can't, and I'm so sorry. If you really do this again, I'm so sorry. I have to fire you. But
Yeah.
you can say it nicely, right?
Sure, nice. Okay.
Yeah. So it's just the way how you do it, right?
Yeah. And throughout this whole journey of yours so far, and I'm sure you feel this, like, people do not take the time of day to understand who you actually are, right? A lot of people, I imagine, just see, oh, you're that guy's son.
Yeah.
And then they don't know that, you know, you
That's true.
grinded and you've done all this and
Yeah.
that and you've learned on
That's
your
true.
own back, right? So has there been a sense of, I'm in the shadow? Is there a guilt for that privilege?
Not really. I actually like it
Yeah.
because people think, and you're right. A lot of my friends, my close friends, always tell me like, "Oh, this guy think you're like this," and especially the way I bring myself, like as if I'm like not really serious person. Like I don't bring up. If you see like when we're diving and all that, I'm like always playing around
Yeah.
and stuff. Like I'm not like serious.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But when it comes to business, I'll get into my other hat on and I'll really. So I like that people think of me. This guy is a stupid
Yeah,
guy.
he's just a
And
rich
daddy.
kid,
He's
like,
just
yeah.
I like it because it doesn't affect my life. To be honest, if you
Nice.
think that way of me, so what?
Has that always been the case?
Yeah, it's always
Yeah.
like my friends told me, but nobody told me directly. People that knows that I grind because I do it. Like how to say? They see that I grind. Some people that is around me.
Well, Paul, I mean, I asked Paul about you, like your freediving instructor, and the first thing he said was not, I mean, I didn't know your dad until I looked it up, right? He was
Yeah.
like, no, this kid works hard, right?
Yeah,
Like for what he's got.
The thing is, why I work so hard is because one, he doesn't give free lunch,
Yeah.
and because I'm being his son, I've experienced private jet. I've experienced owning an F1 team. I've experienced owning a
We're talking
football
that
club.
level.
That level. Okay, that's like extreme.
Okay, cool.
You have
Yeah.
your own F1 team, not mine, his. But
Yeah.
I'm there in the pit stop. You know, going meet the racers and all that. Walk the pit lane.
Yet your salary's $1,300
Exactly. And
a
then
month.
you go for a football match, right? In your own stadium in London, you have your own stadium. You watch, and then you watch the game with England's national coach next
Yep.
to you, right? Harry Ratcliffe or something. I can't remember his
Okay,
name.
yeah.
So you live this kind of life, but your bank is zero. Can you imagine? And then you fly private jet. We don't have anymore since COVID, but back then we fly private jet. But can you imagine when I finished university, when I was in uni, I got more allowance than when I started my lipstick business and I paid myself. It's like a downgrade in life. People normally from uni, you go out, you start working, it's an upgrade, right?
Yeah.
For me, it's a downgrade.
So he was giving you allowance to focus on your studies in uni.
The minute I graduated,
Yeah.
right? End of the month, my auntie manages the finances. I asked my auntie, do you forget to transfer to me this month? She said, no. Father said, once you graduated, no more.
Yeah,
I'm like, fuck. But anything that you need at home, you know, like food, everything is provided. I'm not saying that he's an asshole or
No.
stupid dad or have zero.
But there's those boundaries put in place.
Yeah. But
Yeah.
he's like trying to train you, right?
Yeah.
If you have it easy.
So
But you know, I have like nice shoes, or he'll buy like when we go outing together, having lunch, then we walk by a shop, then he say, oh, do you want a bag? I said, I don't mind when I was younger, right? Then he'll buy for me a bag.
Yeah.
So we do have like nice stuff.
Yeah.
Like all the branded stuff and all that. He does spend for us.
Yeah.
But you don't have cash.
Yeah,
So you can't
sure.
do whatever the fuck you
So
want to
it's
do.
like you can choose, and that's what I mean. You can choose between like, okay, I can be daddy's little boy and I can, you know,
Just
stay
follow
in his
his
house and follow it. But like, you're gonna be a boy and never a man.
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
And it's like, if I want to actually be my own person, I need to go out and hustle and grind and do all this shit. And that's kind of such a distinction in your life.
Yep.
So I guess for you, and I asked you this somewhat the first day I think we met, like, what is your destination? Because I guess and what you said to me was really interesting, because I was like, this is cool, and I didn't know who the fuck you were. So I was like, if you like the whales, why don't you become the whale guy?
Yeah.
Right? And obviously if you live that lifestyle, it's a lot harder to just come to Tonga and be the whale guide.
Exactly.
But is there any part of you that kind of wishes you could?
I would say, to be honest with you, sometimes I do think about it, like 10%, just 10%.
Because it's nice to be on a private jet.
Yeah. No. 10% not because of that, but more of, sometimes imagine like I want to just go to US. I've never been to the States.
Yeah.
I've always wanted. I have a 10-year visa, but I've never been.
Okay.
I've always just wanted to be there and just explore. You know what I mean? And
Road trip.
Yeah, just road trip
Hitchhike.
and just do, yeah. But I can't because of the responsibilities that I have, right? Even leaving for Tonga, right? I feel bad, and to be honest, I miss work.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
Well, because it gives you a lot of meaning, and you're in a position where,
Correct.
because of who you are, but also because of the decade of work you put into
Yeah.
it, like, you actually have impact.
Yeah.
And then you're sitting here on the beach looking at
Yeah.
whales, oh,
Yeah.
what am I doing with my life? But
Yeah.
it's a really important thing, I think, because, like, there's that constant, am I here? Like, I think it rolls into a lot of things in relationships, in love. Like, am I what I do and the impact I have, or am I just a human?
Yeah.
Where do you kind of sit with that? Do you understand the question?
Yeah, I understand the question. So that's why
What's your value?
that's why it's like I am what I'm working on and the thing that I'm building. You know what I mean? Like, if you were to, I was just thinking about this just now, even when I was like, after showering, after the dive, right? Because you asked me all this question before in the boat and all that, and I'm like thinking as well, like, who am I and what I'm what do you call that? Like, if you were to have a personal brand, right?
All right. So. Yeah. All right. So I'm a dickhead, and this being episode 4, I stuffed up royally and didn't have enough storage left in my phone, so it cut out about 20 minutes before we ended.
20 minutes.
I think about 20 minutes, 15, 20 minutes. It's a lot, right? And I think like towards the end it was getting really special and kind of whiny all together, and there were some deep moments there. To like, yeah, just balance the whole journey that you've been on, and then stuff with partners and relationships, and then your relation with God as well. Was there anything, if you take your mind back 12, 16 hours and kind of thinking about your whole journey, having spoken about it for the last hour, you just want to wrap up and leave with people and kind of leave as that last few lines and messages and stuff?
Fuck. Where did we stop?
We
Can't remember.
We stopped when you were saying about your value as a person is so intrinsically linked to what you do and the value you give through business and whatnot. That's when we stopped.
Okay. So I think the last message I would leave here in this podcast is more of I figured out my specialty and my strength only a couple of years ago, like when I was 27. Now I'm 30, so about 3-4 years ago, right? So take your time, and I always say begin with the end in mind, because I set who I want to be when I'm 40 years old, right? So I want to be in the aviation, a realtor, and also a fashion serial entrepreneur. That's my vision. So everything that is aligned to that, I just keep on going. So even let alone freediving, right? Going freediving, it gives me the calmness and the like a pinpoint and a center to everything that I'm doing, which is a lot to be a strong human being to go through all this as well. So everything is aligned towards my end in mind. So I would say everybody in life in general, of course, it's always good to have a end in mind, who you want to be, how you want to spend the rest of your life with, how you want to spend the rest of your life. So whatever you're doing now is related to that in the future. So yeah.
And I think we fully like enraptured like how you came together with your sister's business and your dad obviously being there as that figure, and it was really cool because it took your 8 to 10 years to, as you say, kind of explore and dabble and figure out what are those priorities, what is that future in mind I want to align towards and then shoot for. But you actually gave yourself those 10 years.
Yep.
I think a lot of people might spend 1 or 2 and then there's some pressure of like, oh, what am I going to do? And then they're like, oh, okay, I'll do whatever's in front of me. And it's never that aligned, really. They can't put their 100% soul into it because it was never actually thought out and kind of gone for. So allowing yourself to do that and fail over and over again and learn without reward and all this stuff was really cool. And the final part where I asked, and it had been coming through the whole podcast anyway, so I knew the answer, but above everything, when you take away money and business and girls and oceans and whales and whatever it is, like, what is the thing that you're 100% responsible to and answerable to?
I think I answered this yesterday, right? But the footage is gone.
Yeah,
So I said God. So I said what I told Tim was, it's like, I am everything me, and what I do, what I've done, what I can do, who am I, and everything is all from God. And whatever I'm doing and what I'm putting in and everything that I'm doing in life is also for God. So 100% everything is for God, from God, everything God. Yeah. So why feel so, you know what I mean? Just live life and just do it. For me, yeah.
Perfect. Love it, man. I am deeply regretful and sorry for the first take not going down so well. But I frothed the whole interview, and as I say, it really did come together. It was a special moment we shared as the sun went down, and only we shared that last little bit. But in a true setting of how we've kind of spent the week with people blabbering in the background and coconuts in mugs and vlog cameras out, this is kind of the true representation. Cool.
All right. Thank you so much, Tim, for this lovely podcast. Normally, I'm the one interviewing, but this has been great. Even yesterday, when we thought we lost the footage, you said, "Oh, at least we had a good conversation." Good 2-hour conversation. So, but now you managed to recover.
Yeah.
Good for that.
Yeah. Yeah.
I wish you all the best.
No, thank you. Yeah, I'm glad we got at least an hour 20 out of there. All right.
I'll see you in Melbourne.
Cool. Oh, that's insane. No.